I was at work when I found out that Stan Lee had passed away today. A coworker of mine called me and told me about it, and I thought it was one of those hoax things that you see on Facebook sometimes with celebrities. I looked it up and found out that it was true. I started to get just a flood of texts and social media posts and calls from my friends, everyone just in disbelief that Stan Lee had passed away. When his wife first passed away in 2017, I was at the movie theater right about to watch Spider-Man Homecoming for the first time. And that's how I found out that she had passed away. What I think is so great about Stan Lee is that he created our modern day mythology with Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko. Everybody feels some kind of way about Stan Lee. If you're watching this, I assume that you care about Stan Lee. This is a guy I had never met. I never got to meet him at any conventions. And yet, I feel just this really strong connection to him, and you probably do too. He transcends this sort of toxic political climate that we're in right now. I suppose any fandom does, but what I mean by that is it doesn't really matter if you like Trump or you like Obama, or if you're a liberal or a conservative. Everybody is stoked about the next Avengers movie. It's nice to get together with like-minded people who share your excitement about something without worrying about whether the guy sitting next to you voted for the same person that you voted for. Everyone kind of associates themselves with a different character that Stan Lee created. For me, it's Spider-Man. It's always been Spider-Man. Now I know people today, those kids today, may identify more with like Tony Stark, or Captain America, or Black Panther, or Captain Marvel, or whoever. But being exposed to these characters when I was really shaped a lot of my own morality or even my personality. Stan gave us people that we could relate to, that we could emulate, people that had struggles similar to what we had. Even though we didn't have superpowers. Now I'm an adult, okay, and I realize that there's not an actual Peter Parker out there in Queens. I know there's no Steve Rogers, I know there's no T'Challa, but just because these people are fictitious doesn't make them any less relevant. G.K. Chesterton wrote that fairy tales do not tell children that dragons exist. Fairy tales tell children that dragons can be killed. I really like that analogy. I think it's very true. For me, and perhaps for you, I would not be the person that I am today were it not for Stan Lee. I don't know who I would be, but I would not be me. Spider-Man was such an impactful character on me as a kid, going through my parents' divorce, going through my middle school and high school phases. Jeez. But there was just so much from Spider-Man's life that I felt really connected to. Just not the getting in shape part, am I right? But really though, when you even look at like Aunt May's quote from Spider-Man 2.
I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble, and finally allows us to die with pride, even though sometimes we have to be steady and give up the thing we want the most, even our dreams.
All the Spider-Man stories, Aunt May from Peter Parker taught us this like counterintuitive lesson of self-sacrifice and doing the right thing just because it's the right thing, in spite of the consequences. That was really huge for me. But don't get me wrong, there are times when I screw up, I make the wrong choices, I hurt the people that I absolutely don't want to hurt, and that's also a part of Spider-Man's life. His story is also one of redemption, of forgiveness and love. Initially, after hearing that he passed away, I was just really sad, man. I don't know about you, but as a Christian, I do believe in life after death. I don't talk about my faith much. It's a very personal thing for me, and I know everybody has an opinion on everything religious, so I just typically just keep it to myself.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
I don't know what Stan believed personally, but I'd like to think that he's somewhere with his wife and he's happy and not in any pain anymore. Man, wouldn't that be nice? So I don't want to mourn the death of Stan Lee for too long, but I'd rather celebrate his life. I know that's very cliche, but it's true. The life of a man who never met me, but met thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of people just like me. Thank you, Stan Lee, and thank you for watching.
I'm doing what I enjoy doing. It's like other men like to play golf, so they play golf every chance they can. So you don't say to them, how come you're playing golf today? You played last week. It was the same with me. To me, it is such fun creating characters, writing stories. It's an exciting life, and when you do something that you know the fans seem to enjoy, that gives you such satisfaction, you don't want to stop. You know, I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.